There was a play by close, so she has to.
Where are they?
Answer the question.
The universe required correction. After that, the stones serve no purpose beyond temptation.
You murdered Trillian!
You should be grateful.
Where are the stones?
Gone, reduced to atoms.
You used them 2 days ago.
I used the stones to destroy the stones. It nearly killed me. I am inevitable.
We have to tear this place apart. He has to be lying.
My father is many things. A liar.
Reality was good.
Thank you, daughter. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
What did you do?
Father is many things. A liar is not one.
Thank you, daughter. Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
What did you do?
Ela desce, ela sobe, no baile é pressão. Mina linda, perigosa, rouba meu coração. Vai quicando, vai jogando.
Reality, did you see what I said in the Discord? Did you see what I said in the Discord? I would do good. Did you see what I said?
It's just a check. You see, I'm fine.
Okay, but did you see what I said? I could check. Or I could just tell you if you're still here, but I think you already went to the Discord.
Yeah, so be there. Be there. Because I need you to be there, reality. That game was sick. You should have been. I think you even came into one of the streams. But the thing is that we were already playing and we couldn't stop the game.
Are you in there with someone?
Yeah. Reality is Talk to Me Tuesday, so what would we even talk about? Do you want to play a game and speak or what? Because like, it's up to you guys. Cool, let's just react today.
Cool, so is there anything you want to react to?
Actually, because like reality, have you watched like Across the Spider-Verse, the Miles Morales animated Spider-Man movies? Like, do you watch like those type of movies or anything or what? Oh, you do? Have you watched the Miles Morales ones? Oh, really? Nah, that's fire. So let's watch this video. What do you think of it? Cause like I already told you, but you know, like my dream is to be like Miles. Imagine, bro, imagine one day you just see your that screen as Miles. We're always talking about my first year.
Series. In the last episode, we looked a lot at Miguel, and we also heard a lot from you.
Excited as
trying
fuck.
to figure out if Miguel did have spider sense based on specifically the movie itself. And some of you gave us a very good example. In the beginning of the movie, Gwen tells Miguel to knock himself out. Miguel is confused by this statement, but then gets attacked by the Renaissance Vulture. This shows Miguel's lack of a spider sense based on the movie alone. This information first came from the lovely Honest Mistake 8167, so thank you so much for this catch. Many people also kept informing me that in the comics, Spider-Man 2099 doesn't have a spider sense. While writing that first video, I did look quite a bit into the Spider-Man 2099 comics, but felt that the movie deviated so much in story and design that using information solely based on the comics with no supporting
Bro, reality, I know for a fact we can get that one. Miles Morales one day. That'd be so peak.
However, use Miguel's origin from the comics simply because we see the aftermath of this origin in the movie itself. In the comics, Miguel gained fangs from his very unique Spider-Man origin, and we see these fangs in the movie. I didn't make it known why I was using the origin from the comics, but nothing else, so that's my bad.
Also, what we're gonna do is
Now time for part 2.
I'm trying to learn Spanish, so we're also gonna do some Spanish today.
Episode, we will focus a lot on Obi Brown, Miles Morales, and a concept called the Web of Life and Destiny, while also finishing our discussion of Miguel. In the last episode, we figured out that these quote-unquote canon events are not really what they seem. Let's continue this conversation with the big question of this movie. Is Miles truly an anomaly? There are 2 sub-questions we need to ask first to be able to answer this question. When Miles is walking through the Spider Army headquarters, there doesn't appear to be a single Miles Morales Spider-Man in the entirety of Miguel's interdimensional posse. This brings us to our first question. Is there no version of Miles that is ever meant to be Spider-Man? When Miguel says to go after Spider-Man, hilarious confusion ensues, but when he specifies and says to go after Miles, everyone knows who to go after. This suggests that there is probably only one Miles in the entirety of the headquarters. However, this does not prove that any Miles Morales is an anomaly. Based on this shot here, which was shown in Spot's big "I made you" speech, we can see that the Earth-42 spider that bit our Miles Morales was meant to bite the Earth-42 Miles Morales. This spider was never meant to bite a Peter Parker or a Gwen Stacy or anybody else.
This was a crazy detail when I realized it.
Supposed to bite a Miles Morales. This shot proves that there is
Miles Morales was supposed to be a Spider-Man.
One Miles Morales Spider-Man in this multiverse. If we want to take this a step further, we even know of an actual Miles Morales Spider-Man besides our quote-unquote anomaly. When Miles is being shown villain anomalies in the headquarters, we can see a few video game guys. In between both of these, we see Insomniac Spider-Man of Earth 1048. The Insomniac Spider-Man is the Spider-Man from the Sony games. Insomniac is the name of the company who developed these games. Another helpful hint that this is the video game Spider-Man is this clip here. Earth 1048 Spider-Man responds to Lila's mention of a video game guy. If Earth 1048 Spider-Man is real, that means there is absolutely another Miles Morales. In these Sony games, there is Miles Morales. Not just that, but the Sony Miles Morales even has his own game and is involved in the new Spider-Man 2 game as a playable character. This proves that Miles Morales Spider-Men are a part of this universe and not as anomalies. If there is supposed to be at least one Miles Morales Spider-Man in the multiverse, does that mean that our Miles Morales from Earth 1610 is truly the anomaly that Miguel is so fixated on? We know that the spider from Earth 42 was going to bite Miles from Earth 42, as seen in this image, but this doesn't directly mean that Miles from Earth 1610 is an anomaly. According to Miguel, an anomaly would be caused if a canon event is broken or if there is a disturbance in that universe. When we see Earth 42 at the end of the movie, the entire universe is still intact. The Spider Bite / Spider transformation is arguably the most important canon event as it creates the Spider Person. It's even shown in the Spider-Verse web as a canon event. If a Spider Person was never created, it would cause much more of a disturbance than saving a police captain ever would. However, when we go to that universe, it's still intact. Everything might be on fire, but the people still exist. In Miguel's alternate universe, we saw everybody slowly disappear, but on Earth 42, we still see everyone. That glitch never happened here. If Miguel replacing his dead self created an anomaly big enough to destroy that universe, Same thing should happen here, but it doesn't. Based on this information that we gathered in the last Spider-Verse video, Miles cannot be an anomaly. We mentioned that an anomaly would be a broken canon event or a large disturbance in the universe. In the last episode, we mentioned how canon events are not what Miguel says they are. So if there are no canon events, there can be no anomalies. An anomaly is something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected, but if these quote-unquote canon events are not standard, normal, or expected, there can't be any anomalies. Miles Morales of Earth 1610 is not an anomaly, but this doesn't make sense. We saw the web of canon events. We saw that they exist. How could they not exist if we see them exist? They may not have the same effect that Miguel said they do in his presentation, but they have to at least exist, right? Well, to that I say, something only exists if you make it exist. Let's turn to something called the Web of Life and Destiny. To look at this web, we will need to turn to the comics, but considering Miguel directly mentions the Web of Life and Destiny in his presentation, I feel that it is safe to use these comics to support this theory. To quickly sum up this concept, the Web of Life and Destiny acts as a model of the entire universe and enables travel between realities. It was created on Earth 001 by gods. If the Web of Life and Destiny is destroyed, the spider people would risk losing their spider senses forever. However, one thing that isn't in the comics is canon events. Canon events were introduced in Across the Spider-Verse in a numbered order using the Amazing Spider-Man comics to create this order. The Web of Life and Destiny in the movies appears to follow the same rules as the comics, except for canon events. Just this idea right here helps to support the theory that canon events don't exist. If Miles is not an anomaly and canon events don't exist, then Miles is not a threat to the Great Web. With all this information that we've just collected, there's one final question to ask in the vein of canon events. Does Miguel know that canon events don't really exist? This question is hard to answer with our current information. There are possible explanations for both options. If Miguel does...
Reality, I know I just keep saying it, but bro, gang. Can you imagine, gang, as Miles Morales, bro? Because you want to know what it is? I want to even take part in writing the movies because I'm also an author, if you didn't know. Bro, reality, should be so fire, bro. Deadass. Like, I know I keep saying it, but bro, even us talking about it, and who knows, maybe in a couple of years, this will come back. Somebody will play this shit back and be like, damn, a clip of LS talking about how he wanted to be Miles and it came true, and I'll compare it to, like, Tom Holland talking about how he wanted to be Spider-Man and it came true or some shit.
Doesn't know that canon events don't truly exist, then he's working on his best guess from his experiences. He watched a universe crumble and assumes it's because he replaced his dead self and broke an action that was supposed to happen. He wouldn't be purposefully lying about canon events. He's just trying to protect the universe as best he can with only half the information. However, if Miguel or someone else does know that canon events don't truly exist, it would give them much more sinister undertones. What would they be planning? Do they want to destroy the universe? To keep spider people in check, following their every order? Only time can tell.
Get Sky TV, Netflix and Sky Broadband for just €44 a month in the Sky January sale.
With Vinted's new categories, you can now sell even more...
Why are you talking about Miguel? I don't think Miguel knew. I don't like, because that Spider Society, you want to know what it is? That Spider Society shit is crazy as hell, though, because, like, these people pretty much essentially want you to make a sacrifice to be Spider-Man. That's crazy. That's like some demonic Illuminati shit. Who knows? Maybe this whole entire movie is just symbolism for, like, Illuminati or some shit. If you want to be someone great, like, you have to make a sacrifice. You know how the entire thing is, like, in Illuminati, you have to sacrifice someone to be famous. Maybe that's what that movie is trying to, like, symbolically tell us.
Time for a special speculation session. Welcome to the special speculation session, where we end off a video with a bonus theory that doesn't have enough information to be a real theory, or will probably not be discussed in the media, but would be fun for us to talk about anyway. In this special session, we will talk about Obi Brown. Obi seems to know a lot of things before they happen.
Literally,
Tom
like
Holland's
some cults.
Spider-Man is getting something no other live-action Spider-Man ever did, a fourth solo film. So why is Tom the chosen one? It starts with what Holland's Spider-Man represents. While Tobey's version was emotional and Andrew's was edgy, Tom's Peter Parker was built to be flexible.
America, Iron Man, Black Widow. Whoa, who's that new guy? Oh, that's me. I gotta go.
A Spider-Man that could evolve with the MCU. He debuted in Civil War, was shaped by Iron Man, and became a billion-dollar icon by the time No Way Home hit theaters. But here's the real key. No Way Home didn't end his story, it reset it. Unlike the previous Spider-Man, Holland's character arc is still wide open. He lost Aunt May, lost MJ, lost everything. He's now in a classic Spidey suit, broke, and anonymous again. That's a clean slate for storytelling, and Marvel isn't wasting that opportunity. There's another reason Tom Holland is the only Spider-Man with a fourth solo film, and it's not just about story, it's about business. Let's be real, Spider-Man is Marvel's most profitable character, but Marvel doesn't actually own him. Sony does. Back in the 90s, Marvel sold off film rights to survive bankruptcy, and Spider-Man went to Sony. That's why the Tobey and Andrew eras happened without Marvel Studios. But Sony hit a wall. After The Amazing Spider-Man 2 flopped critically and financially, they had no plan. Their universe was collapsing, and that's when Kevin Feige stepped in.
And Kevin came to me with a really fabulous idea. And ideas are everything.
Bringing Spider-Man into the universe where he belongs, as all the fans know, interacting with the other characters for the very first time, and it seemed like the right time to do it.
Marvel Studios offered Sony a deal. Let us use Spider-Man in the MCU, we'll make the movies. You'll still own them and profit off them. And that's how Civil War and Homecoming happened. The result, box office gold. Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion worldwide. No Way Home made nearly $2 billion worldwide. Merchandise sales exploded. And Tom Holland became the definitive Spider-Man for a new generation. So why stop at 3? Tobey Maguire almost had a fourth film. Sam Raimi was developing it.
You know, everybody's intention is to get it out for 2011. We're totally in process in terms of the development of the story, and you know, there's really good stuff there.
Vulture, Black Cat, a darker arc for Peter. Tobey was on board, so was the fan base, but Sony didn't want a thoughtful finale. They wanted another blockbuster fast. Raimi walked, the movie died, the reboot was greenlit the same year. Tobey didn't lose the role because he aged out. He lost it because the studio lost patience. Marvel gave Holland what Sony never gave Tobey: creative breathing room. Then came Andrew Garfield, grittier, wittier, and set up for long-term plans. Andrew Garfield loved being Spider-Man, and it showed. But Sony rushed The Amazing Spider-Man 2 to set up a franchise, not tell a story. Sinister Six teasers, Weird Oscorp secrets, forced romance arcs. The heart got buried under corporate ambition.
And to serve this incredible character that I've been dressing as since I was 3.
Yeah.
And then it gets compromised, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah,
I got heartbroken a little bit to a certain degree.
In a move that shocked the industry, Sony gave up full creative control, handing Spider-Man to Marvel. That decision only works if the next actor can win everyone over. Enter Tom Holland. Fresh face, no scandals, no baggage, a blank slate. He instantly clicked with audiences and castmates. And the studios knew, this is the guy we can build a decade around.
Fast forward 6 weeks, I was still waiting, and one day Marvel just posted on their Instagram, go to our website to find out who the new Spider-Man is. And that's it. I just found out online. They didn't call me up or anything.
Tom Holland didn't debut in his own movie. He showed up in Captain America: Civil War with no origin story, no Uncle Ben speech.
Panadol Extra tablets are boosted by caffeine for powerful pain relief. That's one for Panadol.
So I'm writing an essay on cats. Cats in art history. I'm an art history major, and this final...
No setup. That sounded risky, but it worked. Marvel introduced him through the lens of Tony Stark. giving him instant credibility without over-explaining. By the time Homecoming dropped, we already knew this Spider-Man could handle Avengers-level stakes. Instead of carrying a film alone, he got to grow within a larger universe. No other Spider-Man had that advantage. Not even close. Each generation has their Spidey. For millennials, it's Tobey. For some Gen Xers, it's even the animated series. But Gen Z, they grew up with Tom Holland. He's in their memes. He's in their TikToks. He's in their Marvel starter packs. Tobey's Peter delivered pizzas. Holland's Peter live streams from the battlefield. He's awkward, anxious, and obsessed with pop culture, just like his audience. This connection isn't about acting talent. It's about cultural fluency. That's why Marvel kept building around him. Tobey started out mature. Andrew was brooding from day one, but Tom, he played Peter Parker like an actual kid, nervous, overwhelmed, full of wonder, and Marvel let us watch him grow. Over 5 films, we saw him lose a mentor, a home, his identity, and finally, everyone he loved. Back in 2019, Sony and Marvel publicly split. Negotiations fell apart, and it looked like Spider-Man was out of the MCU for good. Most actors would have been sidelined. Holland didn't wait. He personally called Disney's Bob Iger to push for a fix, and it worked. Sony and Marvel got back to the table. The deal was salvage.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving! That kind of influence, it's unheard of from an actor in his early 20s. It proved Holland wasn't just a piece on the board, he was playing the game. Tom Holland literally saved Spider-Man's place in the MCU. Let's go back to No Way Home for a second. That movie wasn't just a fan service event, it was a send-off. A spiritual goodbye. Tobey's Peter got to meet a younger version of himself who reminded him what responsibility really means. He stopped someone from making the same mistake he once did, saving Norman Osborn's life in a way he couldn't before. And that back injury joke, that was a wink to the years we missed. The hardships, the aging, the cost of the suit. He's still Spider-Man, just a wiser one.
That's good.
That was it.
Wow. That's good.
That was closure. Andrew Garfield's Peter got maybe the most emotional redemption of all. He saved MJ, a moment that he couldn't do for Gwen. The way he broke down after that catch wasn't just acting, that was a character healing. It gave his version of Spider-Man a sense of peace he'd never had. So what reason would there be to drag them into another full solo movie? No Way Home was their Spider-Man 4, their TASM 3. It just didn't need the title. But Tom's Peter Parker was left with nothing. No friends, no Avengers,
Nothing.
no help from Stark,
Nothing.
and no one who even remembers he exists. His ending wasn't closure,
What a shame.
it was a reset. It was Marvel saying, we're finally going to show you the real Spider-Man now. The one who makes his own suit, pays rent, fights street-level villains, gets beat up, and goes home bleeding. The fact that No Way Home ended like that, on a quiet, snowy night in a crappy apartment with a sewing machine, proves everything. This is just the beginning for him. Tobey and Andrew waved goodbye. Tom is just opening the door. But to be honest, Tom Holland's been open. He doesn't want to play Spider-Man forever. He's talked about burnout, about starting a family, even stepping away from acting altogether. But here's the catch. Marvel offered him creative input. That means control. That means meaning. That means legacy. He's not staying because of money. He's staying because the next arc actually excites him. When the actor believes in the story, the audience feels it too. That's what Marvel's banking on.
The best thing for the character. I don't want to make another movie for the sake of making it. I don't
The
want to.
studio wants you to make another Spider-Man.
Yeah, they do. And I want to make another one. I want to make many more, but I want to do it for the right reasons. And now, like I said to you earlier, sometimes I miss the day when getting the job was the win. Navigating and figuring out what having that kind of power means and that responsibility.
Here's what's different now. Marvel and Sony aren't just making movies, they're building entire timelines, a web of stories across universes. Sony is pushing characters like Venom, Morbius, and Kraven in their own corner of the multiverse. Meanwhile, Marvel is deep into the multiverse saga, Secret Wars, incursions, variant timelines, and Tom Holland, he's the only Spider-Man who bridges both sides. He exists inside the MCU, but thanks to No Way Home, he also has connections to Tobey, Andrew, and Sony's multiverse. That makes him the perfect centerpiece for everything that's coming, including Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. In fact, that's why Spider-Man Brand New Day isn't just Spider-Man 4. It's a strategic reset. It strips Peter Parker down to the essentials. New suit, no tech, no Avengers, so he can be the ground-level hero people always loved. But it also opens the door for him to grow into the leader of the next generation, a mentor, a multiversal warrior. Maybe even the anchor being of Earth 616. And here's the business genius. This means Tom Holland can stick around for 2 trilogies, one grounded and street level, one cosmic and multiversal. That's something no Spider-Man actor has ever done. Right now, the MCU is divided. On one side, you have massive world-ending threats, Kang, Incursions, Secret Wars, Multiverse Decay. On the other, you have the boots-on-the-ground stuff, Daredevil, Echo, Kingpin, Moon Knight, The Punisher, and now Spider-Man. But Brand New Day is doing something wild. It's putting Spider-Man right in the middle of both. We already know this is going to be a street-level story. The tone, the grounded visuals, the homemade tech, everything screams
This would be
of
such a
return
story.
to the basics. Tom is broke, alone, unknown. This isn't Iron Boy Jr. anymore. This is Peter Parker struggling to pay rent while fighting mob bosses and weird animal-themed villains. But then you add in the new suit, raised webbing, symbiote tease, Doctor Doom post-credits rumor, and even the return of Hulk and Punisher. Suddenly, this isn't just a friendly neighborhood reboot. This is a multiversal pressure point disguised as a street-level movie. And this is exactly why it works. Because Tom Holland is the only Spider-Man who can sell both sides. He can cry on a rooftop alone and stand beside gods. He can fight Tombstone in the Bronx, then end up battling Doom in a collapsing timeline. That kind of range? It's why he's still here. Think about it. Tobey's Spider-Man never dealt with aliens. Andrew's Peter never met another superhero. But Tom's Peter, he was knighted by Tony Stark, he bled on Titan, he met 3 versions of himself, and now he's got a Venom symbiote in his universe, and possibly a Doctor Doom.
Shit, I got to go practice again tomorrow. Alright, cool. Say no more. Say no more. We'll practice Spanish another day. Be here for Wednesday, bro.
Down the hall, trying to keep his mask clean and fix his web shooters with duct tape. That balance is Marvel's secret weapon, and it's why Holland is
Nice to meet you, ladies. Nice to meet you for the stream.
Spider-Man with a 4th film. We're entering what fans have called the trilogy, and if you know comic history, this is where stories get real. This is where Stacy shows up, where Harry Osborn becomes a threat, where Peter makes devastating choices that across the rest of his life. The original trilogy with Tobey Maguire gave us the wide-eyed teen version. The Andrew Garfield gave us the emotionally conflicted loner. But Tom Holland, he's finally stepping into the role of the adult Peter Parker, the one who carries the weight of 2 lives and doesn't always come out smiling. And the beauty of it, we get to with him all.
Yeah, peace out, y'all. I'm in stream now.
Wants to admit, MCU is rebooting. Not in the way DC was slate clean, but subtly.
What time is it for you right now?
Inside out. With the Multiverse saga wrapping up, Kang's influence collapsing timelines, and Avengers Secret War looming on the horizon, everything...
Cool. When do you have practice? Type in Discord when you have practice.
And what happens after that? Who's going to
Peace
be
out.
left to lead? Not Sam Wilson, not even Captain Marvel.
Peace out, man. And chat. That was a good watch, but it's looking like this will be the end of it for this stream. So thank you for tuning in. It was a short one, but yeah, that's how we're gonna get. Peace.